Abraham, so nice to be with you. I want to first talk about meditation. I have to say, from the minute I started reading about Esther's interactions with Abraham, I was intrigued because I felt like I wanted that myself. I don't know that it's the same thing, but what I want to discuss now is, for me, meditating feels like one of the places where I can go there. So what happens to me, and I want to hear it, I guess I want to hear what Esther experiences. I kind of want to know, well, physically, what's it like? Like when you connect, is it a visual thing? Do you feel yourself going toward something, or is it all something you feel? Because I sense in my own interactions with my inner being in the meditating that I'm going towards something, but I want to go further.
There are a number of things that we want to give to you about this, and this is a good time to talk about meditation because it's central to everything that we've been talking about here today. The most important thing that we want to convey is that when different people at different times in their life sit to meditate, they have different experiences because the intention of meditating changes a bit from time to time. What we mean by that is, today we're talking about meditation as the means by which you quiet your mind and stop resistance so that your vibration can rise. Now, we will talk to you about what that feeling feels like. However, once you have experienced that many times, then what meditation might be about for you, you might be wanting to meditate, which you easily accomplish that state of being, of detachment from resistance. And then meditation might be for you wanting to be in the receptive mode because you've meditated yourself into alignment with Source. Now you want to have a conversation or communication with Source. So now it feels different than that detached state. Now your mind is active. You're finding impulses. And once you've done it substantially enough that you can tell you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and you know you're in the receiving mode as Esther is here, as this is flowing through her. You're step 1, we're step 2, Esther's step 3. She's in the receptive mode and it's wide open. This is far different than what you would call a meditative experience, and yet this is what meditation has accomplished. And in essence, it is a meditative experience because any resistance that could be active in Esther's environment or in her being isn't in this moment. So this could be a meditative state where full-blown reception of blocks of thought are being translated by Esther at an unconscious level. You could call that meditation. Now, I want to take it a step further. You can get to the place where you have quieted your mind and you've moved into that place that feels really good, and then you stay there long enough that you begin receiving vibrations that turn into impulses or dialogue, and you can actually move from question to answer and question to answer right within your meditative process. So meditation means a lot of things to a lot of different people. For a while, Esther would say to people, they would say, "Do you meditate?" And Esther would say, "Yes. And every time I quiet my mind, Abraham flows a book through me." Every time she quieted her mind, the questions that Jerry had and the questions that those like you had were being received through her, you see. So when Esther first sat to meditate, she focused upon her breathing. And within the first 15 minutes, she felt that state of detachment, and she liked it. She knew it was a wonderful thing. She didn't know what it meant or what it would lead to, but she liked the sensation of it and said to Jerry, "Let's do it again." So they set the timer for another 15 minutes. And again, she got to that place, this place of comfort and well-being. It was awesome. It was a place of such well-being. There were no thoughts. She was not evaluating it because she was focusing on her breathing as someone had suggested, but it felt wonderful. And she said, "Let's do it again," when the timer went off. So Jerry, Esther's all or nothing, he knows that, set the timer again, and again she felt that wonderful sensation. But right toward the end of it, right before the timer went off, the way Esther described it later was something breathed her. Well, that was us. That was us in her receptive mode. We became the dominant consciousness for her physical apparatus. And so as Esther had been breathing, we began to offer her the impulse of breathing. And she experienced an orgasmic sort of ecstasy unlike she'd ever experienced before. And her teeth didn't buzz, they chattered for about 20 or 30 minutes following that. She received a blast of energy that she wasn't really completely up to speed with, but she was open enough to allow it. And because she wanted to know what this was all about, we let her know what it was all about. And it was such a wonderful thing, because now Esther knew these things for sure. There's something out there. And whatever it is good. Because it couldn't feel like this if it were not. And I want more of this. I selfishly want more of this. Toward what end? She did not know. She just knew that she wanted to put herself in that vicinity again. So she sat with Jerry every morning for a little over 9 months. Every morning for 15 or 20 minutes, focusing on her breathing. And during that time, we were aware of her reception, and we were offering her blocks of thought, which she was refusing to receive, because she had been told by a teacher, focus on your breathing. When your mind wanders, and it will, release the thought and focus on your breathing. So she didn't know where the thoughts were coming from. She hadn't had a conversation about the receiving mode. So she would just focus on her breathing, and we would release the thought. And so for 9 months, she had these wonderful meditations where she just quieted her mind and felt like that. Felt detached and felt well-being. And then during meditation one day, she was in a state of allowing, as she was, and we knew what was in her vortex and what was in Jerry's vortex and what was in your vortex. And so we offered, instead of a block of thought, which Esther had figured out how to release, we offered movement. We moved her nose. We moved her nose. We began spelling her alphabet. And she got to about M, N, O, and she realized, and she said out loud, Jerry, I'm spelling the alphabet with my nose. And then we wrote, I, because that was Esther's expectation, I, because she was reaching for her spiritual guide, that's what she'd been reaching for. I am Abraham. And so, ecstasy all over her body. She knew that she had received powerfully for the next few weeks. That was the way Jerry communicated with us. He'd prop her up in bed. He'd wake her up in the middle of the night. Hey, got a question, you mind? No, not really. Off they'd go, Esther spelling letters. Finally, Esther said, you might be using me up. What if you're using me up? And it wasn't long after that Esther began receiving the impulse in her hands. In other words, you ask what it feels like. It's an ongoing evolution of you working out a means of communication between you and your inner being. Meditation is the path to it. But once the alignment happens, then, the clarity and the confidence and the sureness and the knowingness that is available to you, it's never ending. And all along, your life will keep producing more questions to which you will continue to receive more answers.
So I can't just ask Esther how she does it. I have to find it for myself.
Well, we explained to you how she does it, but Esther said to us many times, as she would hear about other people's process, she would say to us, why are they lying? Because what their experience was different from hers, and hers felt so valid, theirs must be wrong. And we explained to her again and again and again, there are not two that are the same. This is the relationship between you and your inner being. And so we're saying to all of you, quiet your mind. We're not saying that meditation must lead you all to what's going on here with Esther, but we are saying to you that meditation will lead you to inspiration that is coming from what your inner being knows. And in your openness, as you follow the impulse and follow it out, you will discover that you have perfect guidance for you coming to you all day, every day about everything. All Esther is an example of connection. That's all. And someone willing to talk about it until you hook onto it if you want to. Jerry said to her, and it served both of them very well, let's not get the messenger mixed up with the message. Let's just get into alignment and let the message flow and let anyone resonate with it who chooses to, and then.
Right, but Esther, I'm so grateful, has figured out how to interpret thought blocks in a way that has been so meaningful to me. And I want to learn more about, I want to feel that. And
well, then make no comparison to yourself and Esther. Instead, accept that you have an inner being who knows. Accept that your questions are unique unto the universe. And most important, this is the most important answer to this most important question. Let there be, especially in the beginning, separation for you between the question and the answer. Let your life produce the problems and the questions, and let your vortex receive the answers and the solutions. And then you just meditate as much as you feel like you want to put yourself in a place of finding the resonance with those solutions and live happily ever after. There's no right or wrong in this. We have said from the beginning, we are not the only messenger. Every one of you is an extension of source energy. Every one of you has access to all of this energy. Every one of you has come with great purpose in mind. Every one of you came knowing that contrast would serve you. Every one of you knew about step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. You all came knowing that. And now, as little by little in your willingness to participate, you find resonance with what we say enough that you show yourself what it's like. You see, Esther, she would not have known about Abraham. Nobody told her. No one explained to her what was going to happen to her. They only gave her the guidance that led her to the good feeling of meditation, and she took it from there. Meditation felt so good she wanted more of it. In fact, she wanted it enough that she did it every day. And eventually it led to something that was so meaningful and so wonderful, and it becomes more every day because this is the leading edge. Sometimes someone will say, oh, well, Abraham mostly talks about the same thing. And Esther says, then you're not hearing what I'm hearing. Today, there have been 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 things that you have asked that have never been in the vibrational ethers before. We've taken thought beyond today, just in this time that we've been together, you see. And that's what it's all about. You are not good at stagnation. You did not come to regurgitate or to stagnate. You came to produce new questions, to receive new answers, to stand in new places, to experience new contrast, to produce new questions, to receive new answers in this ongoing eternalness that we are all about, you see. So there's no right or wrong to it. It's just do your best to go with the flow of what feels the best to you and let everything else sort of shake down how it will.